Not only has he basically implicated himself in murders, he also has implicated Lil Boosie in murders, bro.
Bro, this might have just been a straight-up slip, because it looks like Pooh Shiesty may have unintentionally snitched on Boosie Badazz. In one Instagram caption, he claimed that Boosie has more bodies than him. And in street rap, that word only carries one meaning: murder. The post instantly went viral, and when Boosie caught wind of it, his reaction turned everything into a full-blown confrontation. Here's how it all unfolded. It started with a post that had everyone saying, "Bro, what?" In late February 2026, Pooh Shiesty jumped on Instagram and dropped a caption that read, "It might be one rapper that got more bodies than me, that's Lil Boosie." No album promo, no diss track energy, no rollout attached. Just a random statement, posted shortly after he got out of federal custody. At first, the post didn't hit right away. People scrolled past it, double-tapped without reading, and kept it moving. But then the blogs got hold of it, and once they did, everything changed. Because in Memphis drill and Baton Rouge ratchet rap scene, in the world these two have always lived in, bodies doesn't mean likes or comments. It means exactly what people think it means: a kill count, a tally, a record of who didn't make it. And just like that, Shiesty had placed himself second on that list, right behind Boosie, and posted it for the entire internet to see. By March 13, 2026, the clip circulating on X had already crossed 1 million views, with major repost pages amplifying it. The comments sections? A mix of laughing emojis, real concern, and people begging, "Bro, please delete that."
Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come
Urban Politician TV was casually scrolling through his timeline when one caption stopped him cold. He described the moment exactly how most people experienced it. He had already liked the post before actually reading what Pooh Shiesty wrote. He tapped the heart and kept scrolling. But then he went back, read the caption, and said, "Whoa." As the day went on, the meaning started to sink in. "More bodies than Boosie," he repeated, clearly shocked. Now, Boosie Badazz, who had just dodged a federal gun case in January 2026, walking out of court with no prison time, only supervised release and a $50,000 fine, wasn't about to let that statement sit. He quickly jumped on Instagram Live and shut it down before the speculation could gain momentum.
It went on further. I started to see what the caption read, and I said, "Whoa, more bodies than Boosie."
That right there was the entire rebuttal. Pooh Shiesty wasn't talking about anything criminal at all. Instead, he was allegedly speaking from a completely different perspective. In his mind, it wasn't about a kill count, it was about a smash count. The idea was that Shiesty showed up, saw the women, and, in his own way, was giving Boosie Badazz his flowers, but in a more casual, bragging sense. Not violence, not anything street-related, just a different kind of reputation entirely. That interpretation quickly shifted the narrative, turning what seemed serious at first into something much lighter, and honestly, a lot less dangerous than people originally thought.
He used to come to my house, he see how I be having my parties. All you know.
The internet took one look at that explanation and lost it. The comments went completely crazy. People were saying it took 2 whole weeks to come up with that excuse, calling it obvious cap and accusing Pooh Shiesty of trying to clean things up after the fact. Others joked that Boosie Badazz was moving a little too nervous. Some even called it the quickest save in hip-hop history, while still not believing a single word of it. But underneath all the laughter and memes, there was something more serious sitting in the background. Shiesty wasn't fully free. At the time, he was still posted up in a federal halfway house in Dallas, with a projected release date of April 11, 2026. That meant he was still under federal supervision, with eyes on everything he did, especially online. And now, his name, alongside Boosie's, had been publicly tied to a so-called body count ranking. Whether people believed it or not didn't matter. Millions had already seen the post, screenshotted it, and saved it. At that point, the narrative had taken on a life of its own, and there was no pulling it back. BigHomie.cc, speaking on Cam Capone News, stepped in with a legal angle. He brought up double jeopardy, explaining that Boosie Badazz already stood trial, beat the case, and had the gavel come down. In simple terms, you can't recharge him for the same murder. So legally, that Instagram post couldn't hurt Boosie the way people were making it seem. That argument does have some weight, but it also misses a bigger point. Pooh Shiesty was still under federal supervision. And in cases involving homicide, there's no statute of limitations. Add to that the fact that an Instagram post, coming from someone with a federal firearms conviction, can easily attract attention. Even if it doesn't reopen old cases, it's exactly the kind of thing that gets documented, reviewed, and quietly placed into a file.
Well, Boosie went to trial for this already and won. So double jeopardy would take place, so they can't charge him again. So I'm not gonna say that's snitching.
Big homie, dark.
King Dunn, in his breakdown, didn't hold back. According to him, Pooh Shiesty went on his own phone, told on himself, and dragged Boosie Badazz into the same sentence. Boosie's party story may have quieted things a little, but it didn't erase what the post revealed about who these men are, their pasts, and the cost of continuing to flex street credibility when federal authorities already know your name. That conversation wasn't going anywhere. The word bodies doesn't live in a dictionary definition that matters here. It lives in trap houses, diss tracks, and even in courtrooms, where prosecutors have been analyzing rap lyrics as potential evidence since the late 1980s. In the world that shaped both artists, Memphis drill, Baton Rouge rap, and Southern trap, bodies is a street metric. To catch a body means taking a life. Your body count becomes a measure of fear, respect, and status. That mindset runs deep, from NWA to the Chicago drill wave led by Chief Keef and later figures like King Von, all the way to the Memphis scene that produced Shiesty himself. Yes, body count can also mean something else, but that kind of deniability usually works as a joke, not a serious defense. Context matters, and in this case, the violent interpretation is what most people heard. Here's what made the situation riskier. Shiesty pleaded guilty in 2022 to a federal firearms conspiracy tied to multiple violent incidents. He served time and was released to a halfway house in Dallas, with a projected full release in April 2026. That's not full freedom, that's supervised release. And in that position, making a public statement that sounds like a boast about violence is risky. There's no statute of limitations on murder. To investigators, a post like that doesn't prove anything, but it can open doors, raise questions, and become a starting point.
Not only has he basically implicated himself in murders, he also has implicated Lil Boosie in murders, bro.
King Dunn's point hits hard because it carries truth. The same artists who build their image on a strict no-snitching code are often the ones posting the most self-incriminating content online without hesitation. That caption didn't hand law enforcement a full confession, but it did hand them a roadmap. As Dunn put it, you just told on yourself. And even speculation, like suggesting those bodies could be tied to Memphis, connects directly to a legal reality that has been shaping courtrooms for decades. More than 500 documented cases in the United States have seen rap lyrics used as evidence, whether to establish motive, intent, or even alleged admissions. In the high-profile RICO case against Young Thug, prosecutors introduced multiple sets of lyrics to argue that YSL functioned as a criminal enterprise. Courts have repeatedly blurred the line between art and autobiography, often treating violent lyrics as reflections of real-life actions. And here's where it gets even riskier. An Instagram caption has far less protection than a song. There's no beat, no performance context, no artistic framing. It's just a direct statement, tied to your name, timestamped, and permanently recorded. That's what makes Pooh Shiesty's post so dangerous. He typed those words from his personal account while still under federal supervision. Now, defenders like BigHomie.cc argue something important. Creative expression isn't the same as real-life confession. In music, especially drill and trap, exaggeration and storytelling are part of the craft. That defense holds weight in a studio setting, but it becomes much weaker when applied to a short, direct social media caption written in plain language. That's why Boosie Badazz's response worked. Instead of denying or escalating, he reframed the entire situation. He turned it into a joke, a party story, shifting body count from violence to women. It wasn't a legal argument, it was a strategic one. By making it absurd, he redirected the conversation away from danger and into humor. In today's internet culture, that's often the most effective form of damage control. But the deeper story sits with Shiesty himself. Born Lontrell Williams Jr., he came up in South Memphis and rose quickly after being signed by Gucci Mane to 1017 Records. His breakout track with Lil Durk, Back in Blood, became a massive hit, cementing his place in the rap scene. His momentum was undeniable, until legal trouble changed everything. In 2022, Shiesty pleaded guilty to a federal firearms conspiracy charge tied to multiple violent incidents. He received a 63-month sentence and was later released to a halfway house, still under supervision. That's where the tension comes in. Because even after prison, even after public statements about growth, faith, and second chances, the pull of the street persona remains strong. In interviews, he spoke about change, about thinking before reacting, about leaving certain behaviors behind. Yet just months later, that Instagram caption pulled him right back into the same narrative. That contradiction is what many call the rap trap. Street credibility sells. It builds fan bases, drives streams, and creates identity. But it also comes with expectations. Fans want authenticity, and authenticity often gets measured by how closely artists live the life they rap about. That pressure doesn't turn off when the music stops. It follows them onto social media, into interviews, and into real life. For Boosie Badazz, this isn't theory, it's lived experience. His past legal battles showed how quickly lyrics and image can be used against an artist in court. Even though he beat his case, the reputation built around it never fully disappeared. That's why his reaction mattered. He understood that escalating the situation could give it more weight. Instead, he diffused it. He made people laugh, and in doing so, he shifted the narrative away from something that could have spiraled. As of March 2026, nothing has escalated legally. Boosie continues handling his obligations from a prior case, while Shiesty remains in a Dallas halfway house awaiting full release. But the internet never forgets. Screenshots of that caption are still circulating, still being discussed, still shaping perception. And that's the real takeaway, because in today's world, one post can carry consequences far beyond the moment it was written. Sometimes, all it takes is a few words.